with us. Welcome to the Necromancer Live Show. This stream will begin in time. Thank you for your patience. Grab a drink, sit back, and explore the paranormal with us. Welcome to the Necromancer Live Show. This stream will begin in time. Thank you for your patience. Grab a drink, sit back, and explore the paranormal with us. Welcome to the Necromancer Live Show. This stream will begin in time. Thank you for your patience. Grab a drink, sit back, and explore the paranormal with us. Welcome to the Necromancer Live Show.
As far back as I can remember, I dreamt of a normal life. A life filled with normal things. A life where monsters don't live in closets or under the bed. A life where ghosts aren't real. I just wanted to be normal. But that didn't happen. It wasn't meant to be. Since my early 20s, I have experienced profound paranormal events that would change my life. Extreme poltergeist activity, living amongst those that have departed this earth in ways unimaginable. It has affected my loved ones and children with no end in sight. I could hear things, see things, and feel things not of this world. I asked myself if this was a gift or a curse. With the help of my mother and close friends, I emerged a paranormal investigator. Since 2013, I have been on a relentless journey to learn about the paranormal. I invite you to follow me into the unknown. Welcome to the Necromancer Live Show.
Hello, and welcome to the Necromancer Live Show. I'm your host, Justin Brown, and welcome in. Thank you for joining us, everyone. We're going to try to start off the talk slowly so we can probably get a little bit more viewers watching and people chatting. I hate for people kind of to miss the topic of the show because they're late coming in. Maybe they didn't get the notification right away. Maybe they were busy at the beginning. But we're going to try to start us off slow. We got Missy Vastine with us once again. No guest tonight, Missy, just me and you. We're going to talk about a type of psychokinesis, short PK for short. We had Lloyd Auerbach on last week. And I learned some things, and there was a phrase coined by parapsychologists called RSPKs, which what they call poltergeist. And I was telling him the story about what happened at Hill Forest with the REM pod activity, and I found that interesting. It kind of tapped into this whole line of thinking that deals with the model I'm trying to develop, and I find it really, really interesting. And it kind of opens up the door to what I'm trying to view as paranormal, a part of paranormal phenomena that we're trying to understand. And I definitely try to understand it from a psychological point of view. And hopefully you're somewhat interested. I know you and a lot of people, you do not care about how the stuff really works. You just want to know if it's real or not, and that's it.
Right.
You don't give one crap how it works, which I find interesting because some things you do care, like medical stuff. You like to know how that works.
Yeah.
But not the paranormal.
Well, I want to know how it works, but I don't understand it, so then I'm like, you know.
Mm-hmm. Well, it has to me anyway. It's similar to like the medical field and how it methodically analyzes mechanisms and applies that type of learning and insight into how it works. But it might be the terminology,
Yeah.
that you're so unfamiliar with that kind of turns you off.
Right.
I feel like if there was terms that you could and words that you could use that just didn't turn off the care button in your brain, maybe that would help.
Right. So it would totally be fine then.
Are we herpes now, Derek? We better be, right? I'll go on social media the next day and be like, your stream was shared 80 times. I'm like, wow. That's a lot. Okay. Let's see how many we got in here. Heather Elliott, if you're still watching, thank you for joining us tonight. I know I haven't heard or seen you in a while. I see your posts every once in a while, which is good. We know you're still alive and you're still being
And
you.
I've been a recluse, but happy to be watching. Miss you all.
Yep, she must be bored and not have anything to do tonight, which is good for us, right?
Right?
Okay, well, usually what happens is halfway through the show, people are like, "Oh, Justin's on. What's he doing?" It's at like 9:00. So
Hi,
maybe,
Holly.
yeah. Oh, there's Holly. Some people are an hour behind us, so I think that's why they're still trying to wrap up dinner and stuff.
Right.
Which is totally understandable. How have you been lately, Missy? Everything good?
I've been fine. I guess I could be better. Dad had to have a blood transfusion yesterday.
What?
His red blood cell count is really low.
Wow.
So
Is it
he had to
from
have
his complications with his kidneys?
his kidneys just aren't filtering it fast enough.
Okay, that makes sense. Thank you, Heather. We love you too. Yeah, hopefully that went well.
Yeah, and then he had a blood test today, and they told him that if it was 7.0 or below, he had to have another transfusion. And he got the results back, and she's like, "Well, it's your lucky day, Henry." And he's like, "Why? What is it?" And she said 7.1.
Nice.
She's like, "We'll see you next week."
Good. I've been working my butt off for like almost a month straight.
I know you have.
And I'm tired.
I know.
I'm so tired. It sucks, but we get to come over this weekend. Hopefully the fair is cool because that's the reason that's giving us incentive to come. And if it sucks, then it's going to be like, well, I'm just going to sit in this hot tub.
Well, that's what I was going to say. If it's not cold, then we have wild berry alcoholic slushies and a hot tub.
I'm not worried anymore now. I'll tell you what. You mix slushy with alcohol and some type of sweet fruit. I'm in hog heaven. That shit's so good. It's simple too. It's just like alcoholic slushies for adults.
Yep. For $1.50 because they're on clearance right now at Kroger's. So, Mike Jung said, "Bonjour, difference."
Wow. Welcome, Mike. And we got
Incarnate, Holly
Brent.
DiMaggio, Derek Schreiner.
Yeah, Brent's on Twitch. What's up, Brent? Hopefully we kind of flushed this topic out and I kind of conveyed to you guys what I'm thinking about it. I know I've talked about it before, but with Lloyd saying his pieces, his stance on the whole subject matter, I just love getting new ways to look at things and like thinking about it in a new way. And he just gave me just enough of a fresher look on how people with psychic ability can pick up on information that's either in the environment, whether it's empathic from emotion or if it's actually extracted. I kind of have this idea that's a working model of mine that states that psychic ability is able to use quantum information stored in the environment. I hope that's true because it'd be really cool. If it's another mechanic, who cares? Either way, you're somehow picking up this information in the environment. So if there's already a haunting that you're in the location that you're at, that haunting can trigger psychokinetic response. So in parapsychology, it's called recurring spontaneous psychokinesis, where your consciousness is causing some type of work on a physical system. It's exerting energy and doing work physically in the environment. Okay, so when we look back at Hill Forest Mansion and our talks about the REM pod activity, and if you did not watch the past couple shows, let me know if you don't understand what we're talking about. I'll try to do a flashback. But anyway, the equipment was going off when I was intently wanting it to. So the question is, was that a spiritual presence doing it, or was that me using PK to do it? And if it was the latter, if I was doing PK to do it, was it because I cooked it up in my head, or was it because I psychically picked up on the stuff already there and I manifested what I picked up, which is stuff that we talk about all the time on this show. But we're starting to look at the mechanism for this from a parapsychological point of view. That's not easy to say for me sometimes, especially when I'm talking parapsychological. There, say that 3 times. So that's an interesting question, because you have clairaudience. You're hearing these voices. Do you ever wonder if you're manifesting these voices, or is it actually spirits speaking with you? Do you ever wonder that?
I think the only place that I ever wondered that was at Indiana State Sanatorium.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
Because usually it's like, you guys are asking questions and I'm getting like corresponding answer, like
Right.
at Madison Seminary. At Indiana State Sanatorium, I sat in that chair and there were like 12 voices, different voices, and they were all talking at the same time. And I'm like, am I doing this? Is he doing this? What's going on?
Question B. Do you ever think that I'm creating any of the voices that you're hearing?
Like I said, at Indiana State, I thought it was you.
Okay. So we've been investigating long enough to kind of have intuitions about certain things. They're kind of like educated guesses from experience. Mm-hmm. We notice things are kind of different, and then we're observing, each other during the investigation. Then we kind of wonder these things. Like Justin seems to be acting kind of weird, and these kind of his weirdness is kind of correlating with what I'm picking up or hearing or feeling.
Yeah.
So you have to ask, are they doing it right? So I think it's interesting to think about, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So we asked these questions, and in the description of the live stream tonight, I ask, how can you tell the difference? Is there a way to methodically test this to determine one way or the other? Or is it just something that you need to psychically determine or intellectually determine based on, process of elimination? I don't know. This is new territory that I really want to get into this, because I feel like we need to try to classify them the best way we can. If there's no experiments that we can, continually do with all the same parameters. Hi, Josh. I'm sorry I didn't say hi when I saw you. Yeah, I know I need to read his books. And Brent, let me know if you ever thought about taking his online class in parapsychology, because I'm really thinking about it. Let me know. And I just think it's important, because if, let's just say, my PK's triggered and I'm manifesting things, I think it's very important that I and you and everybody else that's picking up on it knows it's me.
Right.
So maybe if you go into an area before me, do a reading, see what you pick up on, and then layer me in there later to see if it changes or stays the same. That's the only thing I can think of at the moment to eliminate myself from.
Well, if you think about it, we kind of did that at the jail, at Old Lincoln County Jail.
Right, the double blinds that we did, the walkthroughs.
Well, no, me and Antonio, the last time we were there, last December, me and Antonio and Clayton were up there for a good 20 minutes. And I had been back in that back corner for 5 minutes, and nothing happened. I picked up nothing from that corner. And then you walked back there, and I was like, what in the hell is that?
You're talking about the basement? I'm sorry, I'm reading chat.
No, in the 4th floor back hallway.
Oh. Okay. Now I think I remember what you're saying, because there was somebody that was in medical stress, and before that wasn't there. But when I got there, it's like it was there.
Yeah.
It kind of aligned with my presence there.
Right.
Okay. So do you feel okay? So we know we kind of already knew that certain people's presence can trigger certain different types of phenomena, right? Mm-hmm. That was a given.
Right. But
to know if it's actually we're triggering something spiritually in the environment or psychokinetically. Because I'm 99, well, I'm just going to say, you can't say you're 100, 99.99% sure that I not only am a PK agent, I'm like a PK wizard at sometimes, because of the energy healing that I do.
Yeah.
And a lot of the other stuff that I'm able to do, like Madison Seminary, where the voice actually manifested. I feel like that's stuff that you normally hear, but I physically helped it manifest somehow.
Right.
And we got to figure out how that works, because if we can just do that whenever we want, oh shit.
Right.
So I feel like
when your mom does energy work, or anyone doing energy work in a location to heighten the paranormal presence.
Yes. So that's where I want to talk about. It's what we call energy work, is this, psychokinetic effect on physical systems. I feel like I got it from Mom. Obviously, she's got a really, really strong ability to do this.
Right.
And I have my own, way of doing it as well. So we have to figure out if this is going to be a thing, we need to make sure it's not happening on accident, so we don't mistake it for spiritual activity, because I don't want to do that. Because say there's a case that we're trying to help somebody on in their house or whatever,
Right.
we bring our own PK in there. I don't want to tell them that our PK is what's haunting their home, because it's not.
Right.
It could be their PK, it could be spiritual, or it could
Right.
be both. Right? So another thing I want to talk about, hopefully I don't get too scatterbrained on this, is the feedback loop that can occur. So an analog for this would be, if you got a microphone and an amplifier and a speaker, and you talk into the microphone, your voice comes out of the speaker, and whatever comes out of the speaker goes right back into the microphone, and it loops. It loops the feedback. So this effect can happen in this scenario. All right. So the haunting is the original source input, and it's amplified and, kind of like outputted in my consciousness. All right.
Right.
I'm picking up on it. So I psychokinetically output it in the environment. All right. And then the haunting senses it, and it impacts it, and it's constant, and then it starts a feedback loop. So to me, you want to be able to isolate the inputs and outputs so there's no feedback loop when you don't want it. Now, I understand when you do want it, when you're researching and trying to figure out if it's going to have an effect, a desired effect that you want, sure, that's fine. But to actually find out what's going on, you don't want that to happen, especially right out of the gate, because it muddles the data.
Right.
So let me know in the chat if you're following what we're talking about. Okay. Type 1 if you understand. Type 2 if you're like Justin. You're
correct.
It's psychobabble. You're losing your mind. We don't understand, because go ahead.
Incarnate Paranormal typed 1. It's like at Oview with the pop that you said I created.
Mm-hmm.
You weren't even there. You weren't even anywhere near me. And I don't know how I did it.
So I'm thinking that the pop sound was a physical result of you tapping in. I don't know if it was necessarily PK, but something physical did happen. So I don't know if you directly or indirectly done it. You know what I mean? That might have been a little different.
Heather Elliott said, that's interesting. How do you stop the feedback loop? So you hear something, but you don't want to input it back in. Does that make sense?
Yes. So good question. I'm glad you asked. So we need to kind of get, very simple examples so we can kind of flush out this, idea and try to find remedies for it. So basically just observing at first, like say, for example, it's a residential case, you're investigating, it's the first time you're there. Anything that you're getting and you're observing and you need to record, instead of saying, oh, what was that? I heard something. Did you hear that? Instead of responding like that, just write down or make a note of it. Trust that your recording equipment is documenting it and recording it, and just observe and take note when it happens. Okay? The less you respond, the least you're able, you're not able to impact it quite as much, and others around you won't be able to reciprocate and, include their PK in the possible loop that could occur. And this will be, and if you're used to investigating this way, it could be difficult at first by doing it. You could be totally changing your methods by doing this, but I feel like it's very important to talk about these things, because I think it happens way more than we think. Because during Lloyd's show, he talked about we're unconsciously doing PK manifestation all the time, and we're not even aware. It could be very subtle, very small things. We just need to be aware.
He said, okay, that makes sense. I'm going to try that.
Right.
Derek had a good point. He says, also think about how your mom can shut it down and erase everything. Maybe sometimes we do that not knowing, and that's why a supposed highly active location is quiet.
Very good, Derek. I agree. It's very, very possible if we get angry, if we get upset, if we get tired, anything like that could impact the activity and the location. Absolutely. Okay.
Kieran said, hey, I made it. Just walked in the door.
What's up, buddy? Hope you had a good day. Yeah, so we're opening Pandora's box here. Indiana State Sanitarium is the best example for raw PK manifestation because the lack of structure there, but the energy level.
Right.
So the voices that that I heard Derek hearing, which was crazy, by the way. And I knew it was PK because you weren't hearing it, but I was. Like, it was loud to me. It was like, what? I didn't want to, start saying things and freaking out because I wanted it to, play out until it stopped.
Right.
But recording device did not record it. It was not. It's really weird because PK is supposed to be physical. Because when you think about a voice phenomenon like a disembodied voice, what parapsychologists think it is PK because it's a physical thing. You're actually compressing the air, in the environment, causing a sound wave to hit your ears, and you can hear them. You can hear it. I can hear it. The recorder hears it. So it's not electronic voice phenomena. But how does that happen? Okay, here's my theory. So if you're a spirit and you are visualizing yourself with a body and a throat and with a voice, that thought will translate through psychokinesis, creating the voice as if your spiritual throat and spiritual mouth was physical. Are you following me? Huh? So, in some weird way, your spiritual body becomes physical enough to create the voice through psychokinesis, which is insanely mind-bogglingly cool to me. Yeah. So that's how with that idea will give rise to manifestation of their whole body and being able to physically interact with the environment. So anything could be possible at that point.
Right.
So they can manifest and pick up something and shake it, put it back down, and dematerialize.
Yep.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That is crazy. Subconscious, not unconscious. Did I misspeak there? I'm thinking he's trying to correct me there. Let me know if you're correcting me because I don't want to misspeak.
He may be.
If I did, I'm going to blame fatigue. All right, so this where does this take us?
2 minutes back, she said.
Okay. So where does this take us? I don't know. It's definitely wise to try to take a look at how we're investigating and find ways to improve, how not to, introduce PK when we don't want it to occur. Because we want to get the most baseline haunting that we can, if in fact there is a haunting. So another thing I want to address before we move on is in places that are not haunted but are claimed to be haunted. You will need to be specifically careful in these situations because if you are a PK agent, you can create phenomena that appears to be spiritual, which in fact it's not. Okay, and then you confuse your PK or your team's PK or the people that reside in the location's PK with a spiritual haunting. So keep in mind, when you enter a place, you are introducing your own, PK. Into the formula, into the equation. Okay, so you need to be aware of that, learn how to isolate your own PK in the best way you can. You can't do it 100%. You can't just shut it off 100%. You may be able to shut it off a large percentage, but you want to be able to try to isolate and find out what's going on. Like introduce one person into the environment, take them out, put a separate person into the environment, take them out, rotate people out, and then kind of layer groups of people in together to see what differences there are and what similarities there are. I know this sounds methodical and hard and crappy, but I feel like it's necessary.
Right.
What's Darren got?
He said, I had a disembodied voice in my face last Friday night at the jail, 4th floor cell block. The haunt just closed and I went up there to open a cell block door, and as soon as I opened it, a man's voice said, "What?" Like right in my face. Definitely wasn't anyone but me in the building either, and definitely wasn't outside.
That's crazy. What's up, Arden?
Hi, Arden.
It's weird how things can just spontaneously manifest like that. It's real weird.
But in the jail, especially during the haunt, the PK is everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
So it could have been anything.
What's weird is the haunt is in the basement, right? It's not on the 4th floor.
They come in through the fire escape, I think. Or they go out through the fire escape.
So I think there's stairs going down, and Darren, help us with this. There's stairs from the outside that goes down. That might be a way they get in, or they go in through that side door and go straight down the steps. I definitely know that the haunt's not on the 4th floor, but the haunt basically affects the whole building.
Right.
As like a domino effect or some type of area effect.
Right.
So I definitely feel like that.
It's like the fake haunt affects
second,
a
first,
real
and
haunt.
basement. Okay. So that even broadens the area. The basement, 1st and 2nd floor. So it's got a larger area of effect.
Yeah.
I think the jail and places like that, of course, yeah. Waverly Hills Sanatorium, places that have really good established haunts during the Halloween season. It would be very interesting me to study the spiritual presence before, during, and after the public haunts that they have in the building.
Yeah, like sit in the matron's quarters or on the 4th floor cell block and, just observe. First time I've ever heard that so clearly and so close to me.
It's also interesting to me to see what types of stuff Darren experiences from before, not really having a whole lot of psychic ability or any paranormal experiences. And then as he works at the jail and he's in the jail all the time and over a period of time, does he open up over a period of time? Does the jail start to, resonate with him over a period of time? And does his experience seem to be more frequent? Please answer that question, Darren. And others in his, situation, I wonder if it's the same, because I feel like it should be. Thank you for trying to interact with Facebook from YouTube, Arden. I try to advocate that as much as possible. There must not be a whole lot of people on YouTube right now.
There are four viewers on YouTube.
Yeah. Keep trying it. So there's 2 on Necromancer Live Show. There's 2 on my Facebook profile, and then there's 4 on YouTube, and 1 on Twitch, which is Brent. All right, so let's see if Darren responded yet. No, he didn't. So I feel like I definitely feel like you can affect your environment with when you're intentionally doing it. Because I remember when I first started researching the paranormal and doing ITC research and everything else that you see on TV at my house, and my house became insanely active. Oh, he missed my question. So my question basically was, you or someone in your situation not really being like psychic or having a lot of personal paranormal experiences before the jail, being involved with the hunt and, the tours at the jail, and over time, has your experiences got more frequent? Have you got more open over the years and time being at the jail? Has there been a trend going up in the frequency of experiences and stuff like that since you've been there? And if so, why do you think that is? What's your take on it?
I think in Darren's case, his fear has faded a little bit. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like he had that night, he had a job to do. He had to open all the doors and close up for the night.
Right.
That was his job. He was just doing his job.
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't worried about, who the fuck was going to jump out at him and say hi.
Right. Yep, that's very true. So, I'm telling you what, this stuff's, if you don't dedicate, before I, had this job, I dedicated basically all my energy into this. That's all I thought about all the time for years and years and years. And it was way easier to think about these things in great detail and come up with, approaches for investigations and, be methodical and meticulous in how you did it. I'm sure you've noticed the investigations we have now versus before is a lot different because I just don't have the time and energy to do it. It consumes so much of my time and energy to even come close to doing it in the way I want to. And I feel like that's where we're at. It's very, very difficult to do what we need to do to figure these things out because most of us all have day jobs. And the only way we can do it is to have jobs because it's insanely expensive.
Right.
So I don't know what we do. I don't know. I don't know how I'm able to do this the way I want to because I have to work. It's rough.
Hi, Eddie. He said, I'd say it's less frequent for me because I'm usually busy doing something and it usually is random and catches me off guard.
Mm-hmm. So that makes me wonder if he's filtering, because I know me and Lloyd talked about on the last show we had, you filter things out.
Hi, back.
Children, they seem to have more of a psychic perception and a perception of spiritual phenomena than adults on average because there's no filtering, conscious filtering going on.
Yeah.
So if Darren has any conscious filtering going on, but that filter lowers when he's busy doing something. He forgets that he's in a haunted location and he's not actively filtering. That's when it's more frequent. Darren, let me know if you think that sounds feasible. Because if that's true, we definitely should try investigating like that. Trying to, figure out ways to investigate like that. So an example would be...
My initial thought when you said that was, okay, send each one of us in individually with Josh filming. Mr. I didn't see shit, I didn't hear shit, I didn't feel shit. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because he's the one who's like, no, I didn't hear it, I didn't see it.
Right.
So if he's filming and I'm doing a walkthrough, what am I going to pick up versus with you?
It's going to be different.
Or what are you going to pick up versus being with me or Clayton?
Yep. Very, very true. What do you think about this idea? Maybe like bringing cards or a board game and having someone play solitaire by themselves, try to forget where they're at, what they're doing, and play solitaire, or play a hand of cards with someone else. Play a board game. Do something that, maybe get out the phone. I know this is taboo, but you get out your phone and do something on the phone and completely forget about the investigation of what you're doing and see if there's any difference.
Yeah, that might work. Clayton said, I think Josh would experience more if he wasn't filming.
I think it's true for everyone.
Well,
Especially for me, I can definitely tell the difference.
oh, yeah.
Because at Hill Forest, I intentionally tried not to film as much as possible, and I definitely felt way more and picked up on way more. And I feel like that's how we got the REM pod to do what it did later that night.
Well, I was like, Justin just gave me this camera. And I'm like, what am I going to do with it? And then I'm like, Christy, here.
You didn't want it either, did you?
No.
You need to remember to mic yourself. That's important.
I know.
You got a $250 microphone, a lavalier mic. Please use it, because I just need, really good proximity recordings of your voice to cross check with, because
You agree with what, Josh? Me or Derek?
with what we're saying about, camera versus no camera, and me, or it could have been me trying not to film and doing what we did at Hill Forest. That's when he replied that. So I assume that's what he meant.
But
I just kept filming. That was weird.
I think the only time he's unstrapped the camera from himself was at Madison Seminary when he went down on one knee.
You mean Derek?
No, Josh.
Oh. Did he unstrap his camera?
I think he did the strap because his chest was hurting.
I know Derek completely removed it at Monroe House.
Yeah.
We all know, we've seen that. My focus is getting the shots needed for the film, just like when I'm doing drone foot. Yeah. Once in a while I take eyes off the screen to focus on what's going on. It's rough. I mean, you're taking one for the team there. That's why early on I wanted to try to take turns filming and let people not film. We need to try to really remember to try to do that. So this stuff's hard to remember to do all the things. Plus, we've been out of practice.
Well, you told me the night before Hill Forest, you're like, just, Clayton said I just kept filming. You told me the night before Hill Forest to make sure that you were mindful of the camera and not having it on you. And I was like, okay.
Well, I just wanted to have, me and yours full attention on location and our, have 100% focus on our abilities as we use them.
Right.
I felt like as if we did that, we could get something to happen, which is weird because I didn't know if anything was going to happen. Like, I didn't think in my mind like I had some kind of Marvel comic superpower. I'm going to get the REM pod to go off when I do things. I didn't expect it to at all. I didn't know what was going to happen.
Right. Sometimes
I just feel like something just intuitively takes me to these decisions.
Right.
Like I feel like, and maybe you guys picked up over the 7 or 8 years we've been doing this. I'll just, if we kind of run out of ideas, what we like a normal template of what an investigation should be, I start doing things kind of like unconsciously. I don't know. I'll be like, you do this, let's just try something random almost. It feels random to me. So at that particular time at Hill Forest, I was like, okay, you girls go up there, kind of sit on the stairs, but stay away from the rooms. Me and Josh and Derek's going to be down here, and we're going to kind of try to just feel it out, observe, and then whatever comes to my head, I'm going to do it. And that's what we did. And that's what happened. It was organic. It felt organic, but I feel like if you were like, okay, we're going to do something similar and planned it out and expected something to happen out of it, a certain specific something, I don't think we would have had the same result. What do you think?
Maybe not. Uh, Fine.
What happened?
Hi, Amber. Um, it smells like someone just sprayed cologne.
Oh, what? Okay. Anything that you recognize?
I know this is gonna sound weird. You know that cheap ass Avon cologne that you used to be able to get back in the day? That came in
No.
like the cars and
Oh, yeah.
that.
Vaguely, I remember. Like the porcelain or the glass
The glass
vials?
bottle,
Okay.
yeah. Josh said, yeah, that was the comment you just read. Incarnate said, this is also why I investigate alone, just in case someone else will manifest something or subconsciously imprint evidence.
Well, you can do that yourself. And I like the idea of being alone, but you definitely want to add another person in there too. And here's why. If something happens, they can collaborate it. And I feel like that's important in any type of research environment. But there are pros and cons to it. Both. It's hard to... There's no perfect situation. But there are good situations made good by how you do it. So I feel like, shows like mine and conversations like this, we constantly want to try to have them or have them in our thoughts as we're doing, our research and our investigation. I feel like it's a really good exercise because it helps us stay sharp and on point of things that we normally might forget or overlook or skip. Because I think all these little things matter. And I feel like the better work we do if we just, sharpen the edges and blades of our wit, the better we'll be and the better the, research field will be. That's the way I think anyway. That's how I roll. But make no mistake, paranormal investigations like the ones we're talking about are incredibly difficult to do and to do right and to find some type of standard to get the data, the kind of data we want. Because if it's all over the place and the data is constantly corrupted and manipulated and skewed by unstandardized practices, then I feel like that's not what we want to do. Can you think of any other examples, Missy, or in the chat, please, that you feel like your own PK is affecting the haunting? Because I feel like mine is constantly doing it. Like, I feel like I'm talking to myself this whole show. I feel like I've been a bad boy everywhere I've gone. Because nothing's happening, right? Nothing's going on. So you're like, what can I do to make it happen? Right. So everybody's doing this, but the people who have a lot of, psychokinetic ability are making things happen, whether they know it or they don't.
Right.
And the people doing energy work, they know they're doing it.
Right.
So how do I know if it's stuff that's involved with this already, present spiritual stuff, or is it stuff that it's completely because, for example, Madison Seminary, that old lady that was doing the
Beetlejuice thing.
The Beetlejuice thing. When I picked that up, I 100% thought that came out of my imagination. 100%. I would, if you would ask me, Justin, do you really think you're psychically picking up on that? I'm probably be like, yeah, it feels like I'm cooking it up in my head. But when we told the tour guides there, they were astonished.
Yeah.
And that blew me away because it feels like you're making it up.
Right.
Not like you're like thinking about making it up, but it feels like it's coming from your imagination.
Yeah. But if you could do anything you wanted to do, what would you do?
I would manifest $900 quadrillion in my freaking house right now.
Yeah. But you know what I'm saying? If you could show up in any form, what form would you show up in?
If I was dead?
Mm-hmm.
It would depend on the situation.
Right?
I often wonder if these noises we hear are us manifesting it. Some of it is the bending setting or animals, but I wonder if sometimes we make ourselves something. For example, I hear sounds like people singing, but then there's nothing on the audio recorders. That's a good question. What's up, RJ?
Hi, RJ. Hi, Heath.
You have to wonder all the time about what you're hearing, what you're sensing, what you're recording. And that's the whole purpose of this show.
I do it all the time.
Right. Soon as you get on location, you need to have like a checklist and you need to have like a meeting. It's like, okay, I watched this weird guy show. He's saying that we're all psychokinetic agents, and when we go in this place, we may be creating things happen, and we may be manifesting things. We may be picking up on the haunting if there is one, and kind of manifesting things that corresponds or aligns with the haunt, or we could be triggering the haunt somehow, or we could just be cooking it up altogether. We need you to be conscious of this and figure out ways to isolate yourself in your own PK from what the haunting is manifesting. How do we do this? And then
Arden just asked if you got her PayPal donation she just sent.
PayPal. If you use the link, I didn't get it, but I can check PayPal real quick to see if I got it. I don't have my phone in here, so I'm gonna have to use my computer. Well, my phone's probably in my bed. Oh crap! I can't get on my PayPal unless I go to get my phone. Let me see if I can find it. Uh-oh, I think I just heard a notification. Let's check it. I'm sorry, Arden. Yes. Arden Paranormal sent you 348, which is they probably took a chunk out of it. But yes, I got it, Arden. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Uh-oh, we got Derek in the house. Must have been a little delay from the notification.
Yeah. Delay.
Streamlabs wouldn't work for you. What didn't work? Did you try putting in a card, or did you try doing PayPal? Let me know, because I want that to work. Because I just noticed that you could use your credit card now on there, which is $5 Canadian. Derek Schreiner, are you healing up yet, buddy? Slowly. Doing rehab yet?
Yeah. I started Monday, and then I go back next Monday. And then the Monday after that, I have a therapy appointment, and then a follow-up doctor's appointment. And then I should have another thing. My therapist said I'm definitely not ready to start doing anything really with my arm yet, because I'm still healing.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Derek, I got a question. Is your camera on autofocus or manual focus?
It is on manual focus. Is it out of focus?
Slightly.
Okay, I was wondering, because the peaking picks up normally on me because I focus it on my, so it kind of screws everything up. So I'll probably have to read.
So the focus point is actually right behind your head where the chair is.
Oh. Okay.
So if you lean back, you could tell if you're sharper. See, now you got sharper.
Yep.
Yeah.
I see this. That's crazy.
Yeah. One fix would be to increase your aperture number to like 4 or 5 and even higher. It'll take your exposure down, which you can just compensate for easily. But it'll give a deeper depth of view for focus. So that might be something I would try, because I know sometimes, you move back and forth.
Right. Yeah, I noticed after using this to film with it, Hill Forest, it's been a pain in the ass to get settings back where they need to be. I don't know why. It's almost like the camera did an update or something on its own, and it's got some weird stuff that I got to figure out.
I know that the presets that you can save on the top, that might have got messed up, or just moving the settings, because I moved some settings around.
Oh, okay.
When I filmed the interview to match my settings, so that might have been it too.
That could have been, because I really didn't get into checking a whole bunch of stuff, and damn.
Amber comments, when I first got really into my abilities, mine come in flashes like a daydream, and so I've had to learn what are my own thoughts and what aren't. Same with hearing things that others can't, so I can question, am I manifesting it because of the story's history or not? That's why I don't want to know anything before a location. Absolutely, Amber. Very good. The less you know, the better off you will know if what you're picking up correlates with something that people report or is in the history. Very, very, very cool.
100%. And see, that's where, like, we've done a lot of references to Hill Forest lately, because that was the last location of doing this. But, what I've noticed is the research that I've done, and that we already knew about, and the
Derek, I'm sorry to interrupt, but your audio is cutting out for some reason.
Really? Could it be because I'm too far away from the microphone?
I don't know. It wasn't doing that with Missy.
Huh. That's weird. What about now?
You're good now, so...
Okay.
Sorry, I just wanted to tell you. We can't hear.
Oh, yeah, you're good. The big thing that I noticed was with Hill Forest, the stuff that we had happen and that was going on. Yes, it could have been something that was manifested by one you, by me, by Missy, by Josh, somebody. But when you look back at the historical data to go along with what happened, that you really you don't know any of the history, because me and Missy historical data and kind of kept it until we need it. What happened correlates with a lot of the historical data to the people that used to live there.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's kind of something that we can use to, weed out if it's being made by our subconscious or doing things to make things happen. Is it correlating with what we would think needs to happen, or is it actually correlating with the historical data of the location?
Well, Lloyd had said that you can get information from a tour guide, from a book, from a video, and manifest it that way. Or you can psychically pick it up and manifest it that way. Or it's actually spiritual.
Right.
So the first thing you want to do is make sure that if you do know previous information about it, you need to be mindful of that. Mm-hmm. So someone in the group needs to be, if you really want to take a good look and evaluate what you're asking is, someone in the group needs to be ignorant to all this information prior.
Yeah, gotcha.
That way you know if it's just imaginary or if it's just you're picking it, you're using your prior knowledge and manifesting it. Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah.
So that's the whole idea of this show, is flushing out how we can figure out and determine the differences. And when we look at the differences, what can we do in our approach to, figure it out?
Right.
So, Arden
Yeah.
said, or as Justin calls it, Canadia. That's hilarious.
Right.
Have you, Heather Elliott comments, have you ever done a private residence case and felt like the residents were manifesting things and it wasn't really spirits? Absolutely, yes. Absolutely. Amber says, investigating with no information is like a double-edged sword because when I don't know information, I don't know how to approach it. It can be tricky for me sometimes. Yes, there's pros and cons. Absolutely, there is. That's why it's good to work with a team of people, at least one other person, to balance these out and to try to deal with the cons to doing a double blind or an approach to where you're not having any prior knowledge. Welcome back, Missy. Oh my God, you farted out your microphone. That hurt my ears. She leans into the mic, squeaks into it at the highest pitch possible. So, Amber, I'll read Amber's comment again. Maybe you have some insight on it, Missy. Investigating with no information is like a double-edged sword because when I don't know information, I don't know how to approach it. It can get tricky for me sometimes. What do you have anything to respond?
I'm usually the one that he makes go in completely blind. Like I've seen no pictures, no nothing. I know nothing. And you have to go in with an open mind and let everybody else lead you. You can't be alone in those situations. You just have to let everybody else lead you.
So one thing you can do, Amber, is go in blind, do a reading, leave. Make sure you document everything that you've done on video, on audio, take notes, document it the best way you can. Then do your research, historical research, learn everything you know, do your interviews, do all the data collecting you can about what is happening, everything. Then go back and then approach it, cross-check what you picked up on with what the claims are, the history on there, and then that will help you find ways to proceed, okay? And you can go from there, but that's what I would suggest you do if possible, if it's possible for you to do that. All right, real quick, we're going to take a couple-minute break. We're going to play Josh's Deadlight promo, and we will be back. Don't go anywhere. We got another hour of talking about weird stuff. That's cool. Stay tuned. We have been peering into shadow for 5 long years, struggling to see what lurks in the night. Working from the ground up and collaborating with hundreds of paranormal investigators, we have been able to develop a product that not only became the best night vision illuminator on the market, but became the last light that our customers would purchase for the rest of their lives.
What Deadlight has done for me as an investigator has really kind of changed the gamut of how we investigate, because before Deadlight, you used to get the little wonky lights you buy off of offline and stuff like that, which sometimes didn't always work. They were really glitchy. You guys sent me some Deadlights. I used them for Paranormal Warehouse. We did some filming for Epic Haunts, and I'm blown away.
I think the quality of the merchandise that you get from Deadlight LLC, I think is top notch. The fact that it's handmade, by Josh, and the quality of it, and the craftsmanship that he puts into it, the time and effort that he puts into it, speaks volumes when the merchandise is received. The fact that he honors all of his work, pretty much lifetime guarantee to, fix it if something goes wrong, I think stands out too. The quality of the product and the customer service is top notch.
Whether you are a seasoned investigator or a beginner, Deadlight has a lighting solution tailored to your needs and your equipment. Deadlight is made for all who are not afraid to see what lurks in the night.
Welcome back, everybody. I see you there, Carmen, sorry.
Okay, Amber, if you are still here, hon, what I do is I take my headphones with me. If they're talking about a location, or they're talking about some deal with the location, I put my headphones in and I turn my mic on as loud as I can. And I just let it go. Because
She ignores us.
I ignore them completely.
Carmen, yes, it was Waverly Hills.
Yeah, you were responding on YouTube and she's on Facebook.
Well, here's the thing. Restream will let me reply to Necromancer live shows comments, but not ones on my personal profile.
Gotcha.
So when I realized that, I tried to at least put it on the screen so they can see it. But she won't be able to see it in her chat. So that's why I verbally responded after I saw that. Thanks, Arden. Yep, that promo was a long time in the making. And I definitely got more resources and more footage done for that one than ones prior. So I was going to go back. Oh, I think I covered everything. So the things that you guys are suggesting and already know about, I'm glad that you are aware of them, because a lot of people seem to forget. And the reason why they forget, like for me, for example, I'm so focused on filming and doing all the prep work for the investigation and the film shoot. Yes, it's definitely worth going once, Carmen. The location is insanely cool. It's one of the coolest places I ever been, hands down. The history, the building, the story, it's awesome. And if you're sensitive, is super creepy in some places, especially at night. It's
Judith said, "Hey, I thought this was gonna be a Sloppy Joe tutorial."
Dude, you fat-fingered shit again on Facebook.
I like to prep the area first, he said.
Yeah, you get your saran wrap down, you get naked, and you shave, and then, you have some sloppy joes.
Ew.
Oh, don't pretend like you're grossed out. You know that you just got hungry when I said that.
I don't even like Sloppy Joes.
You don't?
No.
Christy does. I'll tell you what. Crow and Christy would be friends. They would be eating sloppy joes all day. Test your abilities. Yes. You probably should get hooked up with the Ryan Research Institute and see if they would like to do some parapsychological studies with you, Carmen. I'm sure they would love to investigate any claims of abilities from anybody. But if you didn't watch the Necromancer live show last week, please try to, because it was very interesting. Unlike Sloppy Joes, what? Unlike Sloppy Joes, I don't get it. Help me understand that. I'm lost. I'm tired too, man. I'm so tired. Oh, sometimes I'll read comments and I'm like, I don't mean to understand. It's a rough job. It's a hard job. I'm
Well,
working
it's
on
fun.
a remodel made out of a hot dog. I tell you what, man, your sense of humor does not wane, sir. It's remood, huh? I don't know with him. But thanks for being here, man. We're talking about, I don't know if you read the description of the video, but we're talking about how psychokinetic agents, people are responsible for like poltergeist activity and affecting their environment. REM pod, there we go. So the question is, when we're in a haunted location, does our own psychokinetic abilities tend to manifest things based on information they get either from a tour guide, a video, a book, or an online article? Or is it something they psychically pick up or perceive and then manifest? Or is it spiritual and we don't manifest it at all? Because all three of those are possible if you're a PK agent. A REM dog. You need to make the meme, sir. Make the meme. We need a REM dog meme. And we need to figure these things out, because if our job is investigating the paranormal and figuring out what type of phenomena we're dealing with, because this is important. Obviously, if you're doing a residential case or helping a family, a friend, an individual in their home figure out a haunting, you need to know if you're manifesting things, if anybody in your team is manifesting things, is the person living in the location doing it?
Cur of Judas asked, is there any kind of test you could do to see if it is manifested or if it's spirit?
That's what we're talking about. So
Heather Elliott asked, what is your opinion on the Enfield haunting? I'm on the fence. Part of me feels like she was faking some things, but part of me watches interviews of her as an adult and I believe her.
That's an interesting case, but we'll do this one question at a time. So, Crow, yes, there is a test. So you need to really look at the claims of what is reported. What are other people reporting? Is it like all over the place, or is it like similar or exactly the same? Maybe like at Hill Force example, there is an impression on a bed in an upstairs bedroom that people see. Like they'll fluff it up. It's a down mattress, right? It's got feathers in it, goose feathers or old bed, right? And they'll fluff it up. They'll make it flat and round and level, and then it'll sink. So what they're unsure of if that is something naturally that occurs or is it paranormal. But that's a claim. All right. Another claim would be they see a woman manifest on the staircase. Okay. Many people have reported it. So if you go there and you don't see any of that, that means something. That's a piece of information. This phenomena was not observed by me or anybody in my group. And you want to try to go back as many times as you can to see if, repetition, you just need to go back to see if it occurs sometimes versus other times. So one thing you will see, especially people who emulate ghost shows, is they'll pull out the recorders, try to get EVPs. They'll pull out their SLS cameras, try to get stuff on that. They'll pull out ghost boxes. They'll try to get stuff on their ghost boxes. All this type of equipment. The issue with that is that equipment was not used or involved in the original reports of the haunting. So if you introduce that type of equipment when it wasn't involved in the claims or the reports, you are definitely could be manipulating the devices. Like you can manifest EVP, you can manifest voices, you can manifest all kinds of stuff, especially if you're introducing all these other things that you normally use all the time at other investigations. You want to try to eliminate that stuff. That's one way you can tell. Another way you can tell is if you previously, before you came on, you can introduce people one at a time into locations, or you can introduce a person into a location that has no prior information, because the triggering of these manifestations is based on information that you know about prior or that you're psychically perceiving. So if you just take a look at that information, you can try to not learn anything, not go to a tour, not read anything at all, blindfold yourself even. Okay, because your eyes can, definitely give you information. All your senses can. So those are examples. Heather says, what is your opinion on infield haunting? So that's complicated. So there definitely could have been poltergeist being manifested from the individuals in the home. It could have been a haunting that was triggered by this RSPK topic that we're talking about. Now, the attention in the media and the police and the parapsychological field that it got made things complicated, because the girls could have been faking some things when things didn't happen. And there is performance anxiety that's cooked up during these cases because they want people to believe them. It's really happening to them. There was another case in Ohio where a gal murdered her boyfriend, and before this happened, she was having a poltergeist case. Anyway, they want stuff to happen while the cameras are there and when people are there to see it. They want people to believe them. So that's where opportunities to fake things happen. But it doesn't mean the whole thing's fake. Does that make sense? That's what I think probably happened in that case. Edward Isley asks, here's a good question for you. Do the spirits feed off of your energy? So, spirits are basically us without bodies. So, let's just substitute a spirit with a living person with a body. Okay? So, if there's a person in their home, chilling out, and someone comes over, that person's presence will affect them. Now, when you say feed, that's kind of insinuating that they're using some type of physical energy from us to manifest things, which I think that's what you're asking. So if that's true, that's vampiric. Like that would insinuate that they're actually stealing or using our physical energy from our bodies to do things. And if that's true, and I feel like in some rare occasions it is true, that's not good if that happens. Demonic activity could be possible, and things that resemble or are on the same level of demonic activity. Now, if they are just being influenced by your presence and psychic energy or some type of empathic exchange, yes, mostly all the time. But if it's physical energy, yes, it's possible. It's very rare.
He actually went back and I don't know. Anyway, he said what I mean by that is, like, if you go into a haunted location and you're scared, do they feed off of you being scared?
Yes, that's the empathic emotional stuff I added in my first answer. So there is a theory that shadow people or shadow entities feed off emotion. And I believe in that 100% because I've seen it with my kids. And people who see shadow people a lot generally find themselves, having shadow people in and out of their lives periodically. And it's because the vibration that anxiety, fear, any type of stuff like that attracts them. And there is a theory, which I can't be 100% on, they do seem to feed off of that somehow. But they're actually feeding off of, it's a psychological feeding. Okay, because toxic people feed off of drama.
Mm-hmm.
It's similar to that. But your physical energy, it could be feeding off your physical energy at a point. It's a good question. I don't know for sure. I don't know for sure. It depends on the entity, and it depends on if there are any signs that, like, cases where your health is declined. Like there's something physically wrong with you because of the activity. That is a physical life force drain or something physically happening to you. But like in demonic cases, it starts psychologically. So it starts up here and it ends up being, your physical body at the end. Good question, though.
Carmen said that's an interesting thought theory. So for those who go point blank without knowing any information, can we manifest things?
You still can. And here's how. You can psychically pick up on it and then manifest it. So I'll go over this again. If you go into a location without knowing anything, you could still pick up information in the environment with your eyes, ears, and every other senses while you're there. You can psychically pick up on it. You could still get information without actually reading and researching. It's still possible. But the question is from the takeaway from the show is, how can you tell what is occurring, if you can at all? That is what I want you guys to be thinking about. And as you're thinking about it, you're going into a location, you're going into an investigation with this knowledge in your head. You're thinking about it. What can I do differently to determine which could be happening? Jonathan Oden, you want to go ahead and read his comments?
He was replying to Carmen, and she said he is a scammer.
He's a scammer? Oh, okay. Jonathan, is that true? Are you a scammer? Why would she say that?
He's made the same comment to two people in the same chat, so.
Okay. Well, Jonathan, good luck on scamming people tonight. Doesn't seem like it's going to work. No love. All right, so Missy, what would you suggest we do differently than what we did at Hill Forest to kind of help do a better job with this? Because I feel like the whole REM pod thing that happened at Hill Forest was very interesting, and I think that it was valuable to our research. Mm-hmm. But what things do you think we could have done better? And then I definitely have some things in my head to answer that question.
I don't know. You'll have to answer that question because I don't know.
You don't know. What could you have done better?
I've investigated the location without you and with you. So I was just kind of letting you do your thing. And then I would drop my 2 cents in when needed. But I don't know. I don't know if there's anything we could have done differently.
I think I asked you this before, but was it cool or interesting or different having me and Christy there and Josh there versus just you and Derek? Did it seem different?
I remember twice that, well, the last time I investigated was when we had first joined the group. Was when we were investigating Hill Forest for the first time. Mm-hmm. So I've learned so much more since then. So I
get it.
Was it you? Was it me? I don't.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it may not be a fair comparison, or an easy comparison to make. Because...
And I've come so far since then. So,
let's talk about that for a second. Did you have any idea that would happen joining Interface Death?
No.
Like
point blank, no. I didn't. I knew I could do things and see things and hear things, but Okay.
But see,
That was
I didn't.
right.
It's not like I was some kind of like psychic guru that I was like, oh, psychics when they come into my group, they're going to be better because I'm going to, counsel them and
Right.
coach them and whatever. Like that, I had no idea that was going to happen either. But it kind of organically, naturally did.
Right.
I think that's super cool that people can, when they get together, they can be better.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I feel like it's gone both ways though. I feel like that my arc has trended up. I feel like I have improved too. It's like we've collectively got better.
Like we did it together,
Yeah.
sort of, in a way.
But it kind of came from my my leadership, but opening the group up to discussion and growth. Like I had to be able to incubate the process
Right.
because a lot of groups just quickly shut down. There's drama, toxic, behavior, and it just doesn't happen.
No.
But I feel like my interest in the subject matter and my belief in the subject definitely made it easier for it to happen.
Oh, yeah.
Let me turn my chat back on. All right, so I feel like here's the limitations. We have so much time at the place. We don't know when we can come back if we can.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like a race against the clock every time. Most of the time when we go to these locations. So it doesn't always work out. Hardly ever works out the way you want it. But if we had all the time we could ever want at Hill Forest, or any location for that matter, I feel like the things that we're talking about we could definitely do. Like we can do solo walkthroughs, because we have talked about in the past having you just with a vlog camera and a mic go through by yourself and just do a reading.
Yep.
And then we do a reading with someone, with a cameraman, like Dead Files style.
Yeah.
Which is what we usually do.
Yeah.
Because I feel like there's pros and cons to both.
Right.
Depending on who's doing the camera work and so on and so forth.
Right.
I feel like allowing Derek and Josh more time without operating cameras was something that we missed.
Yeah. Totally.
But sometimes that's hard to do because of time constraints and how our work flows. Because someone's got to film it, right?
Right.
And, the people who usually, Josh and Derek, who usually film it, are usually, it just works out best as far as a film production standpoint, but not necessarily for investigation. So
Right.
there's some pros and cons. It's hard, but I feel like people who are watching this show and kind of taking mental notes can definitely, there's some takeaways, because it's hard to always consciously be aware of these things, because it's almost like we're walking around haunted, going into other locations. Our haunt can haunt other locations, right?
Oh, yeah.
And our haunting can haunt other hauntings, and so on and so
Right.
forth. So I know people talk about it. It's not like a new thing, but kind of taking a look at it and trying to break it down and cook it down as much as possible to see if there's ways to determine what's happening is, I feel like, very important. Something we could try to do.
Yeah.
Especially if we have access to one location over and over and over.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think?
Yeah.
Do we know what we're doing?
I think we do.
I think we do. We're on the right track. We have
Yeah.
good intentions.
Yeah.
Oh boy. I'm going to let you try to pronounce that.
Aomide? Ajobi?
A Joj? I'm sorry. We do
Joj?
not. That's definitely foreign to us. Go ahead. You can go ahead and read her comment.
He's replying to Crow of Judas. It says, I read your name and felt a strong energy and connection Time lapses could have been better, but the drone footage is fire, Josh said. We have, like, trolls.
Okay. Yeah, I see what's going on here. Scammers.
Derek, will you block them? Or Josh, one of the two.
Before you block them, we're going to kindly ask them to not do that in the chat, and if they continue, they will most definitely be blocked and banned from commenting. So please stop doing that. You can. I don't advocate you contact them on your own, but definitely don't try to do it on the show, okay? Because you definitely look like a scammer by doing that. And if you don't want them commenting and private messaging you, by all means, do what you need to do.
Herman said there are people trying to get money off of others. I'm trying to, but only letting me report them.
Add to block list and restream chat. Let's try to do that. No thanks. And we'll do this one too.
Your drone footage was almost not fire, Josh, because you almost got your drone stuck in a tree.
Time lapses could have been better, but the drone footage is fire. The drone footage is fire. I looked at it again. I'm like, oh, the shot going past the church. Basically, all the shots look good. Mm-hmm. There's a couple where the lens flaring was, you could tell that the sun was not in position you would have liked it to be, but that's it. The actual drone operation was, you could tell someone who is certified and experienced did it. That's all I got to tell you. Which, we're lucky to have people that we do. I mean, we are a good group, especially when filming. We know what the hell we're doing. That's the easy part. Well, easy-ish. Easier. It's easier.
I do know that twice at Hill Forest. And it was weird this time because I actually felt it happen. My voice was not my voice.
I know Derek mentioned it.
When I was sitting on the steps and you were knocking on the door, it changed.
Yeah,
and
that's when I remember Derek mentioning it.
And then I think we were in that museum room the second time.
Okay. I'm going to try to do some stuff here.
What is
Are they commenting from my personal profile or? Let's see if they are.
Josh, I am going to talk to Clifford about that next week.
Looks like they are.
He said, I think we could be there, the resident team there. I'm going to talk to them about that next week.
Oh, at Hill Forest?
Mm-hmm. Honestly, I'd rather be filming and observing what is going on than investigating. Josh just said.
All right. Well, if you don't want to investigate, that is totally up to you. We're definitely not going to make you do it if you don't want to.
Josh, you have to investigate.
No, he doesn't.
No, he doesn't. I know he doesn't. And then...
Uh-oh.
Josh...
Let's see here. Well, let me click on this.
No, he doesn't.
Okay, let's see if I can go find their comments. Because it was on Facebook they were commenting, right?
Yeah, on the NECROMACER live page.
Oh, I went there and I couldn't find them. They must have got blocked. All right, well, we won't worry about it anymore then. It happens. Josh is very good at what he does. It's like if he's not good, it causes him stress.
Oh, I know.
He's not okay with it. I'm the same way. I'm the same way. I try to be, do the best I can, and I'm pretty anal, and so yeah, you guys know I shouldn't be. You guys already know, but I've been trying to get better. I've been trying to chill.
Yeah, at Hill Forest was the most chill you've been.
I didn't want to piss my wife off for no reason.
No, you didn't want to piss her off, and you were adamant that, and this was the first investigation that I can remember that you actually said, from this time to this time, we're going to take a break. And we're just going to relax and we're going to regroup.
I knew we were going to be tired.
You left the location to go have lunch before we started investigating.
I knew that we were going to be out of practice. I knew we were going to be tired. It was hot. And based on other investigations and film shoots we'd done, we worked extremely hard and we were just spent before the investigation started.
Right.
So I was trying to be mindful of that. I don't know if it worked.
Derek said, yeah, I'm not an admin. And then he said, Justin was just super hot. It was too warm to be outside.
Dude, it wasn't just me. Derek was sweating his ass off too. And I know everybody was hot. Christy was hot. Poor Christy. Derek, let me see if I can go to the Necromancer Live Show page and make you an admin. I thought you were. It's weird. We're going to do this live, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry. So let's see if I can figure out how to do that professional. I don't even know how to do that with the new stuff. I'm going to do it after the show. Please remind me, Derek, to do it after the show.
But
because I have to figure it out.
My Aunt Jemima had just headband.
Hey, you just looked like me at the bash.
Mm-hmm. But
it's hot.
That was the only time I can actually remember you leaving a location to even have lunch.
Well, it was only like 2 blocks away.
Right.
You can throw a rock and hit the place we went. Where we went to was cool. The Aurora is cool.
It was super cool. Yeah.
We went to a place that is blocks from where Missy and Derek live. They never went there.
Nope.
Ever. They've never been there. And you, as an outsider, you're like, how the hell you've never been there? But there's places in my town that I've never walked into. So I get it. Have you guys been back since we've been there?
No. There's a place we've been frequenting downtown. It's called Spry Bookstore.
Mm-hmm.
Books and Coffee. And I've been looking for a physical copy of the book, A Haunting in Dearborn County, which you can buy on Kindle, and I have it on, but I want a physical copy. And we went in and bought coffee, and we went across the street and bought some soap and some hair oil, and it was pretty cool.
Nice.
We didn't even know any of those places were down there. Hello, Matt Benton. You are late.
He's been doing marine stuff.
I'm afraid they're going to be like the Patriot? I don't know what that means. Derek Schreiner.
One of the restaurants in Aurora is going to be like the Patriot.
Oh, okay.
What's up, Matthew Benton? What are you doing? What are you doing? Besides training to kill. What's up? Yeah, I feel like there's probably a lot of places in our hometown that we need to go check out. Maybe that's what we can do. Like if we have time and maybe when you're in Hillsborough, instead of staying at my house the whole time, maybe we can go downtown to the historic district. And because I definitely want to take you into the Highland House and let you check that place out, because we only got to look at the outside.
He said Justin is right. I'm doing Marine Corps stuff. I just got finished. So you're gonna kill them and then talk to their spirit.
Yeah, he's gonna have a recorder on his rifle, and
sorry about that, dude.
Be like, whoa, the soul harvester.
Yeah.
Matt Ben's gonna be like a soul collector. He's gonna be like, I have your EVP. That's so fucked up. Sorry in advance.
Tell them the code word as they're dying. Code word is hamburger. I'll be back tomorrow.
Yeah. That's crazy. Someone's going to steal that and make that into a TV show.
I know.
I would. An EVP session every time I take an M&E. Yeah. Uh-huh. That's what you do. That's what you do. We all are that way, and that's why the quality of what we do is very good. It is. It is very good. And I feel like if we never stopped and we continued on the path we were, we probably would be doing this full time, because we probably would have got picked up.
I'm not good at what I do. I don't think.
I asked you what you can improve on, and you didn't know. Then now you're trying to tell me you're not good.
Filming wise, I'm not good.
Oh yeah, that's true. But that's not your specialty. That's not why you're in the group.
True.
No. The reason why you're in the group is we are researching psychic phenomena, and so far I think we've got really cool results doing that.
Josh said we didn't have to mess with the live streaming either.
I know. I was wanting to for the Patrons, but then I'm like, no, I can't. I just can't. That severely fucks up everything that you're doing.
Yep.
It's the only way to take the paranormal field to the more extreme stacking bodies. Oh my God. The Marines. It's paranormal. That should be a marketing thing that they do to recruit. Wow. Ever wanted to talk to the dead? Be a Marine. Be all you can be. You can become a necromancer with a rifle and explosive devices.
Derek said we can get back to that point.
So, I know. I'm going to do my best to make that happen, Derek. So, Matt, you need, and I stress, you need to make a video, a short one, that that advertises the Marines as a paranormal or necromancy. You need to do it. You're the only one to do it. So make that happen, please. The place we added is so damn good. Atmosphere and food are great. Oh, the brewery?
Mm-hmm.
Josh, how did you just like look at places to eat there and found it and be like, oh, that's a good place? Or
no, he went to the bathroom and
Susan
told him to come in and cool off, and she was telling him about places to eat around town.
Oh, Susan. I liked Susan.
Yeah.
I liked everybody that I've met at Hill Forest.
Yeah.
I liked them all.
Susan.
But she was so nice. She was so hospitable.
Yeah.
I'm like, it was almost like suffocatingly hospitable.
Yeah. She was like, you guys are too hot. Get in here and cool off.
I wish she would have said, you guys are too broke. Here's some money. But we're the ones supposed to give them money, huh?
She volunteers at the mansion, and then she works part-time at the Dollar Tree. She ain't got none either.
The Dollar Tree. That's got to be a place where you send people for torture. Yeah. I don't know. It's probably better than fast food.
I don't know. It's the Dollar Tree.
Yeah, I wouldn't be mad if you made that, Matt. That would be funny. I'm sure people in your company would think it was funny too. I would. Just do it for me, man. Just do it for me. But it would be funny if you got some people in your company to do it, in your group, to be in the skit. That would make it better. That would make it real good. So, for those who are watching, if you had your choice in anything we could film or any film project we would do, what would you like to see us do? Let me know. Even if it's Derek and Josh in the chat. What is something that we haven't done that you would like us to do? Anything. Missy, you too. If we could do anything, if we had all the money and time, what would you want to do?
Oh gosh. Josh said YouTube sucks. He said I keep commenting, but you're talking about something else before my comment comes up. It's like minutes behind.
Yeah, if you want no delay, Josh, go to Twitch. There is no delay on Twitch.
Paranormal game shows, Heath Edwards said.
Paranormal game shows. You want us to do a paranormal game show?
You know what I think would be cool? And I'm not just saying this.
I do want to know because I asked.
For you to, like, maybe not even, it doesn't even have to be on me. Like, Josh or Derek, maybe. Do Reiki on someone's location and see what each picks up.
All right. Say that again. Do Reiki on who?
Do Reiki on, like I said, it doesn't have to be me. It could be Josh or Derek, either one. And see what the other picks up.
The person I do Reiki on, see what they pick up?
See what you or them pick up in the middle of the Reiki session.
On a person or on the location?
On the location. Like if anything comes through.
Well, I basically do that. Well, I do and I don't.
Right.
I think what you just said is interesting. Because at times I do. Like at Madison Seminary, I definitely did Reiki.
Oh, yeah.
But, and I feel like at Hill Forest, there was times that I did.
Yeah.
But to do it like with that intent in mind might be different.
Yeah.
The Haunted Restaurant series is going to happen. I don't know when, but it will. I like the idea so much.
Yeah. And there's a couple of them down this way that they mention in the book.
Oh, there's plenty to go do in our area. We're probably in the best Midwest or East Coast is probably the best place to go do it at, for sure. Gettysburg, we could do a whole docuseries on Gettysburg restaurants, for sure.
Yeah. The DeLorean Inn, the Farnsworth House.
Farnsworth, yeah. It would. The Farnsworth has got good food, for sure.
Yeah.
And we have yet to experience anything paranormal, but that's obvious because we've only been there to eat.
Yeah.
So I like the idea of doing Reiki on the location.
Yeah.
And spirits that I sense too.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Maybe we need to turn that into a thing in our investigation and film the results. I like the idea. Diners, drive-ins, and dead people.
Dead people.
No, here's diners, dives, and dead. Diners, dives, and the dead. How's that sound? Type one in the chat if you like that. I do. Diners, dives, and the dead. No one steal that. Don't steal that. I want to do that. It's already stolen.
And he's already made millions of dollars off of it, so it's fine.
I can see us on the Travel Channel, dressed up like Zach Bagans, but we're like trying to provoke the cheeseburger.
What if he's Guy Fieri and the other Zach Bagans?
If you're so big and bad, I dare you to taste good. Sit off this REM pod. Oh my God. So I'll mess you with. What did you say that he was going to steal it?
Yeah, probably.
I didn't see him say
I don't
that.
see any of the comments.
Oh, so they like the idea. So
They like the idea.
if you see that happen, don't be surprised, because we're trying to make that happen. Because I feel like it's something different that people haven't seen. And let me know in the chat. I hope this is only me. Well, maybe I don't. When I sit down for dinner or even lunch sometimes, if I'm eating in the kitchen, I have a TV in my kitchen or my phone. While I'm eating, I'll watch food YouTube channels or networks or food travel shows, and I'll eat food while I'm watching other people talk about food or reviewing food. Let me know if you do that. Is that just me?
Derek said I'm just getting ahead of him. And Josh said I'm twitching from this damn delay.
Here, Josh, I'm going to open up the... let me see if you think this is better. Let's see here.
He is not on YouTube that often, so...
Yeah, Josh, I'm going to send this to you, and let me know if you like it. We stream on Twitch, and the delay is like non-existent almost. Let me know. All right, 10 minutes left. Everybody, thank you for watching. Every time someone, even shows 1% of interest in the stuff that we do on the live show, I am extremely grateful, because your time means everything to me. I appreciate all the financial support, the chats, the comments, the likes, the shares, all of that. I appreciate a lot, and I want you to make sure that you know that I appreciate that. St. Albans, OSPH, Old Hospital, and College Hill. I want to make it happen, Josh. I want to make it happen. And if you're on YouTube and you don't like the delay, like I said, I'll post the Twitch. That's our Twitch channel. If you're watching on my personal Facebook page, you won't be able to click on it, but you'll be able to see the URL on screen. There's like no delay on Twitch. So if you don't like the delay, by all means try Twitch chat. Patreon. It's in the video description. There it is in chat. Our website. Check it out.
And
Hopefully.
Old historical. OHHH.
Oh yeah, he brought that up before. Yep, we have added
Old
it to the list.
Historic Harmon Hospital.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's definitely on our radar now. I appreciate that, Heath. Any place that we can further our research is what we need. I think we're going to wrap it up early here, a few minutes early. I'm tired. I think we've done all we can to flesh out the topic. Like I said, thanks again, Missy. I'm going to wrap this up. Next week, we don't have a guest scheduled, but we may try to get one. Missy, I know after the show I want to talk to you about trying to book some more. Me and you need to work with that. But stay tuned every Wednesday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Thank you very much for joining tonight. If you did not know, we're on Facebook, we're on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram. Check it out. Follow us. Subscribe. Do all those things if you want to keep up with what we're doing. And Patreon. Can't stress enough how appreciative I am to those people in the chat, or on Patreon rather. Clay Bornman, Deadlight LLC, Heath Edwards, Tony Filosi, Gina Rutledge, Anthony Gratis, Becky Young, Arden Paranormal. Thank you very much. I tell you what, if you haven't checked out Deadlight, please do so. They're one of our major contributors. And if you have not checked out Deadlight and you are in the market for infrared or night vision filming, he's your guy. So that's where I'm going to leave it. Thanks, guys. Next Wednesday, 8 p.m. I'll try to get the event up Monday so you guys at least know what's going on. You guys have a good night. Stay spooky. If you have any ideas or any suggestions of what you want us to talk about, please let me know at justinbrown@interfacedeath.net or just message the Facebook, platform that you're watching this on. And if you're on YouTube, you definitely have to just go to interfacedeath.net and email me, and we'll talk about it. Thank you very much. You have a good night.